Amad Diallo is him. First person to put me on Amad 2 seasons ago. Makumi Tabitha. Makumi, you are justified. Today you are justified. Today is the day that you are justified. Guys, if you guys know, I love watching young players. And Amad was one of my 5 players this season. After the first international break, I said there's 5 players that I can't stop watching this season so far. First was Everton's Iriogbonam. He hasn't played much since then, but he was really good in midfield. Again, these are all kids as well. Adam Wharton, Crystal Palace. Morgan Rogers, Aston Villa. Tyler Dibling, Southampton. And the 5th player was Amad Diallo. Like, this boy today he has willed this team. And then there was a point, I think, up to 60 key minute. You realize that, you might be getting subbed off because the one place United actually have numbers was on the wings, right? Even though Garnacho and Rashford were benched. More on that shortly. And it's like you got a sense of like, I might be getting subbed off soon. I need to start doing something. And that was around the time where he put Nunez on his ass, right? And it was not the first time, because this was foreshadowing, because even on the penalty kick, it was Mateus Nunez who was involved again in this with him. Vardiol as well was having problems with him. The one thing that I like what Amorim did today, which I really wanted to see, and was to see Amad play a bit further up because he was playing as wing back. And I remember I was talking to Keenan about this on the pod maybe 2 weeks ago on our podcast, Football Focus Weekly, which we're shooting tomorrow, and he's going to be very excited. And he said the only way that it'll happen is if they do what he really wants to see. He wants to see Mazraoui and Dalot as the wing backs. Either Mazraoui and Dalot. Ideally, would love to see Shaw and Dalot as Shalot. Shaw and Dalot as the wing backs, and then forces Amad to go forward. And he said Garnacho is the one who needs to be benched. Obviously, he had Rashford in that team, but both of them were benched. And Amad he really took his chances. First half was a bit slow, like it was a bit, the game was quite sloppy in midfield. Like the ball was just not sticking for anyone. The first 15 or 20 minutes, it just looked like United were guessing passes and they all somehow managed to get to people's feet. I don't know what it was, but it was working. Then obviously City managed to get the goal, and even the goal was a lucky goal. Of course, it came from a corner. These boys have considered yet another corner. That's 4 goals in 4 games. Even though it was a bit unfortunate because it was a cross by KDB that came off Amad. Again, Amad was involved in all the goals. But it was insane how lackluster, how they just seem to just not have ideas. I'm just like, is this the same City side? Like, if you saw Southampton attack that way, you'd be like, okay, they're playing well, but they don't have control of the game. The fact that it's City doing this, like, yes, they had possession, but it wasn't going anywhere. They were not creating good chances. They were not, like, it's just this team is average. Haaland, I don't think Haaland had a shot on goal. In fact, let's just check that right now, because I really doubt that Haaland had a shot on goal. It says here he had a 6.4 rating. He did not have a shot on target. He had 1 blocked shot. And that's it. He had 21 touches in the game. Like, that is your key striker. That is the best striker in the world. Doesn't even have a shot on target in a derby. That is unheard of. Insane. Completely insane. Another thing I wanted to mention about this team, I said that United, the one thing about a back three is that you will catch someone. You will catch someone on a day, and one of the big boys. Because in a back three system, if you're trying to learn it, it's hard to learn. So against the smaller teams catch you when you're trying to, because you try and implement those good habits in games like those where the margin for error is a bit more than when you're playing big teams. When you're playing big teams, it's just, let's just be pragmatic. If it's parking the bus, we park the bus. If it's slow build up and hit them on the counter, let's do it. But we're not going to try things in big games. And that is what happened. I gave the example of Arsenal. Arsenal first year when Arteta was there, Chamberlain was our wing back. I think was that his first season or Wenger's last season? Or second last, or Emery. Anyway, point is, Arteta's first 6 months, he played with a back three. And it was just sweaty football. We were not great, but we were milking results. We beat Chelsea in the final FA Cup. We beat Man City in the semi. We had a few good wins that season, but it was the small teams that gave us problems because you're really trying to implement a system and it's not working, or it will have flaws, right? Because you're not perfect at it. That's just the nature of the beast. And they got City. City, who would never lose at home, they got them again. Like, City now have lost to Tottenham and United. Like, that is wild. City have 5 losses. There's one thing we used to be told, or we used to know when you were young, when we were young watching the Premier League. Once you hit 3 losses in the Premier League, that's it. You're not going to win the league. 5. At this moment, City have won one of their last 11 games. I want to say 11. So they've lost today. They lost to Juve, the last game, that's 2. They drew with Palace, 3. Then they beat Forest, that's the 4th game. Then they lost to Liverpool, 5. Feyenoord draw, 6. Tottenham lost, 7. Brighton lost, 8. Sporting lost, 9. Bournemouth lost, 10. Tottenham lost, 11. 1 win in 11 games. And that was Forest. Like, this is a rat. This is bad. And Pep's reaction after Nunez is, first of all, Nunez, what were you doing? Like, where was that pass going to, honestly? Like, what are you trying? And then you compound the issue by coming and just, like, if you just come and just play, just contain the guy, worst case scenario, gets a shot of target. If he scores from there, well and good. But penalty now is assured, And then United did so well to immediately strike back just after that. Strike again after that. Because the space between the 2 goals was, they want to say 1 minute and something seconds. Yeah, like 1 minute and something seconds, which is extremely, like, that's just hitting someone in their throat and be like, let's see what you can do. So, my goodness, this result was immense. Amorim, his changes, like, no nonsense. Like, we're making changes and these changes make sense. Because he brought on Anthony. Anthony was also quite good because now Anthony and Ahmad were now attacking quite high on the right side. They were, dude, Anthony went me back. Anthony went me back. And then, Lenioro came in for the least Mazraoui. Højlund was okay. In fact, the duels between Højlund and Haaland were quite entertaining. Seeing 2 strikers just go at it was really, it was fun. It was fun to watch on either side of the field. But then, as I was talking about the subs, the subs were really good. But then what Amorim did that impressed me today is benching Rashford and Garnacho. I can't remember who was watching, and they were saying that the one thing that they hope the team is as ruthless with players as they were with their sporting director. This is good to see. For a team that's rebuilding, you have to be ruthless. You literally have to be ruthless. If you're going to be ruthless with the board, be ruthless with the players. And a message had to be sent because Rashford's body language is not instilling confidence. And you cannot be the highest paid player. You can't be one of the most experienced players. And someone like Ahmad is outplaying you, outshining you. Outplaying is not an issue. Outshining is not an issue. Outworking you is an issue. You cannot be outworked as one of the more experienced players. And you've seen in this league, especially when you're trying to rebuild, you need people who are working hard. So for Rashford, benching him was completely justified. Garnacho, I don't know what Garnacho did. Garnacho's problems are more on-field problems in terms of decision-making, finishing. Those are just on-field problems, which I think you can play out of. Bad body language, you can't play. You can't play out of that, right? Like, you literally have to fix it. And sometimes it takes a lesson like this to fix your body language. But with that being said, it was a big call. Big call to bench the 2. Rashford has never missed a Manchester derby that he's been fit for. Garnacho scored in the last Manchester derby. So it was a big call. But Ahmad? Diallo it is. And those 5 players that I say you have to keep watching, guys, you have to keep an eye on them. Sometimes I say things that they come out right. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. But yo, Ahmad, baller. Complete baller. Oh, Onana was good as well today. Onana didn't do anything stupid, so he was good. But he didn't get a clean sheet, but he was good.